Another edition of the program, Eve, the Woman, right on Equate 9.7 FMRM for me, Omobrio. And on this program, we talk different issues as regards to women and everything that concerns family, because we all know family is definitely the bedrock of the society. All right, this morning on the program, we're going to be talking parenting and taking care of children with special needs. That will be our focus on the program this morning. And with me in the studio, my guest that will help me in driving the course of the program this morning is the special advisor to the governor on social development, Mrs. Joyce Onofowokan. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you for joining us on the program.
Welcome.
All right, and to you, dear listener, in the course of the program, if you have questions or you have comments, you can call us on these numbers: 0805 897 0897, 0805 897 0897, and 0805 897 1897, 0805 897 1897. Those are numbers to call to a part of the show this morning on Eve the Woman. Okay, so let's start with parenting. I just want us to look at, back then when we were being raised, you raised us, and now we are raising our children. And let's do a comparison. What are the things that have changed over the years?
I think things that have changed, really, it's the communal parenting. It's kind of lacking because we keep going in and we keep focusing more on our primary families than the collective neighborhood families. When I was younger, if I misbehaved outside, any of the mothers could discipline me. In fact, I preferred them to discipline me and not tell my parents.
Okay.
My teacher I think I even feared my teachers more than my parents, because we grew up having a reverence for our names. Our names mattered. Our last names mattered. So we grew up knowing that you had that responsibility to carry on with the name. So you never did anything that would bring shame to your family name.
Okay, so what do you think has changed over the years?
I think we've lost that sense of it takes a village to raise a child. We've really lost it. And when we started losing it, that is when I would, for lack of a better word, some parenting skills went to the dogs. Because even if you were not really good at parenting, a neighbor stepped in, an aunt stepped in, you had the extended family system, which now does not really work as much. You as a mom now, with the demands of motherhood, the demands of work, you are now expected to take parenting again. But in our time, we always had an aunt or grandma that lived with us and assisted our parents. And most times, my mom had a shop in Balogun, but by 5 p.m. she was home. We had dinner together. By 5 p.m. she was home.
Okay, but let's look at raising children these days. Some people would say, oh, the children of these days are quite different from the children that were raised back in the day. Would you say it's more difficult raising children these days than it was back then?
I wouldn't say children have changed. A child is a child is a child. The difficulty lies really in us being more consumed about material things than being a real parent. We would rather take our kids on summer vacation and work so hard and save all that money than spend time with them. I think we are now very consumed about giving them material things in place of the me time. When we were growing up, there was a lot of me time. Your parents, you were with your parents. You were not with helps. You did not go to bed without seeing your parents. You did not wake up without seeing your parents. But now, unfortunately, due to the demands and due to our need for material things, the me time has been shoved to the background. So we spend all that time and all that energy looking for material things so we can take them for summer for 1 week. Even when you take them for summer for 1 week, because we see them, you come with the help. It's the help that still stays with your child while you go shopping or doing your things. So you wonder, why did you take your child for summer? You don't have to go abroad for summer. You can go somewhere, even within the country, and just spend that quality time with your children. It is, I think I'm more bothered about the quality time. Your generation, you do not spend quality time with your children.
Okay, I'm thinking that borders on, we need to make ends meet and all that. So how would one balance this, given the quality time that you've talked about to these children?
You need to make ends meet. What do you really want? What do you want? You need to spend less time or less money on the Ashwebi. You do. You have to make up your minds. Do I want to spend this time with my child this weekend? Or do I want to once again gallivant from one party to the other? There's a lot of time spent at parties to the detriment of the children. I don't know, but it's got to be an individual thing. And fathers also need to rise up and assist. A mother, yes, you carries the pregnancy, you have the baby, but parenting is both father and mother. Growing up, I can count how many times I went to bed without seeing my father. I can count it. How many times I went to bed.
A lot of fathers are held up in traffic from islands to mainland, especially in Lagos these days.
You know what? One other thing that bothers me is a lot of the businesses, especially the banks, there's really no need for somebody who lives in Magodo to be posted to Marina. It doesn't make sense. There are branches in Magodo. There are branches on the mainland. So we have, if we think the family is the bedrock of the society, and we do not want chaotic children in years to come, the businesses have to help us. They have to think in terms of, the only thing that needs to be at the headquarters is probably just the top management. There can be IT at the headquarters, there can be IT in Ikorodu, IT in Ekpe, IT and smaller HRs all over the place, so that you are not traveling. You don't have to leave home at 4 a.m. to get back home at midnight. It's not even good for you emotionally or physically.
Okay, let's look at some of those particular ingredients one needs to succeed as a parent. What are those things one require?
I tell people, when you go to the store, you buy a refrigerator, they give you how to put it together. It comes with how to list. But you have a baby, it does not come with instructions. Babies don't come with instructions. One of the things you need really to be a good parent is the time. You need to bond with your child. Bonding, I'm not saying buying toys. You can buy all the toys. The bond, you play with your child. You tickle your child. You hold your child. You sing to your child. Those are things that came naturally to us when we started raising our kids. Because those were things that we saw. Somebody held you. Somebody danced with you, promoting your gross motor skills. Somebody sang to you. There was music. We had minimal television. When I was growing up, TV was 6 to 8, which was enough. Now, we have turned the television into our babysitter. Science tells us now. I met a mother who told me, oh, my baby loves to watch television. This baby is a month old. What this baby is seeing, by the time it gets to the brain, for the brain to translate it, the image has changed. Then we say we have a generation of children who have attention deficit disorder. We caused it because their eyes are not ready for the quick changes that it's in the television. Television is a disservice to children. I'm not saying it, science has said it. So we need to do away with television. We need to do away with minimal toys. What toys does a child need growing up? Just a stick and an old pan. Music, drum, eye-hand coordination skills, boxes to play with, cartons. You make holes in them. The child crawls in and out. That's a tunnel. You didn't spend money. A box is free. You go to any of the stores, they'll give you boxes. That's a tunnel. So those are things that we just, the most important thing is we need to give them time. And in giving them time is sitting on the floor to play with the child. Floor. You come down on the floor. You play with your child. You can lay flat on the floor with your child laying beside you. And you do hiding games. Things that will make your child laugh, experience laughter. And it's just having fun. Whichever way you want to have fun. Have fun with your child. That's all you need.
Okay, earlier while you were talking, you talked about, communal parenting, which we've lost. But these days, we hear a whole lot of things. Even within the family, if you decide to leave your child with an uncle, they could get abused or molested and all that. So, all of this, how do we incorporate even other members of the family to help when it comes to raising these children?
As a mother, there's an intuition that the Lord has given us. When you see somebody that you don't trust, you know that you know that you know. Children sense it. If an uncle carries your child and every time that child cries, you as a mother, you better have an inner reflection, because they know. They know those they are not comfortable with. In our time, were there fondling, were there rape? Probably. But I go back to the name. Your name matters a lot to you. There was an instance of a rape, and somebody called me and said, Omowani, that's is a family, let's hide it. And I said, well, if you want us to hide it, could you put it in writing so I can take it to the Ministry of Justice? So it is the constant hiding. But if I was to rape somebody and you shamed me and everybody got to know, then whoever wants to indulge in it again would say, oh my God, I don't want my family name to be shamed. But these instances happen and we cover them up. So you would know, you will know I know family members that I cannot trust with $1. So why wouldn't I know family members that I cannot trust with my child? You will know them. You know them as a parent. And at times, parents suspect, because after it has happened, they always say, you know what, I had bad feelings about him. But it's my husband's brother. It's my husband's cousin. And I just felt he can't do it. Once you have bad feelings about it, it's your intuition. You just act on your intuition. Are there times we'll miss it? Sure. But if it happens, you better take them to court. Whether it's your brother's, your husband's brother, your husband's father, your husband's relative, or yours. Because that's what the law says.
Okay, another thing that I'm looking at is some parents might be afraid of the stigmatization because they'll feel once they come out and say, oh, this had happened to my child, that in the future someone might want to use that against the child one way or the other. So they, apart from wanting aside from maybe probably trying to protect the perpetrator of this act, the person, the victim, also, one way or the other, might be affected, don't you think?
Typically, if it's a child, you are not supposed to mention the child's name. Even the newspapers, you would see that in other countries. I'm more familiar with the US. Once you're a minor, your name is not mentioned. Your picture is not exposed to the world to see. You, as a child, you are protected. Even the children do not go to court. If they do, they are interviewed in the chambers, not out there. So we also need to begin to think about how we will protect them. And I'm also using this medium to implore, to call on our print media to please stop, especially the children. Especially the children. The adults, they're already adults. You know something? It is not your fault that you were raped. It's not. And we have to move beyond that. The more we talk about it, the less the shame that's associated with it will go away at some point. It will. You saw recently in the US, the doctors that came out, the movie stars that came out, that had been raped, the Me Too. They're successful. They're millionaires at one point or the other. they had been sexually abused. So we need to begin to look beyond the cultural or societal nuances.
Alright, still Eve the Woman, right here on Equate 9.7 FM. We're talking parenting and taking care of children with special needs, okay? And I have with me in the studio Mrs. Joyce Onofowokan, SA to Governor on Social Development. If you have questions or comments, feel free. The numbers to call 0805-897-0897. 0805-897-0897, 0805-897-1897, 0805-897-1897. Those numbers called were part of the program this morning. Let's talk about children with special needs. Now, when we say children with special needs, what kind of children do we refer to?
Children who have diagnosis or developmental delays. Those are the ones that we talk about. But we should not lose focus on children who are at risk. Because if we lose sight of those who are at risk, then the risk comes in.
Okay, so you said those who have kind of diagnosis and developmental delays. Can you expatiate a little bit on that?
Diagnosis: those who have already been diagnosed with Down syndrome, Klinefelter disease, osteogenesis imperfecta, that is breakage of bones, unexplained breakage of bones.
Okay.
Autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, dyslexia. Those ones are diagnoses. And there are others.
Okay.
There is the developmental delay.
Okay, and let's take this call. We'll come to developmental delay. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Wari. I'm calling from Yaba.
Oluwa.
Wari.
Okay, Oluwari Simpson from Yaba.
Yes, Yaba.
Okay. All right, go ahead. You have a question.
I actually just want to comment. I was
Onofowokan. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much,
Mari,
Oluwari.
you proposed. Did you get married?
Yes, so I got married.
Congratulations.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Oluwari. All right, so that's a great testimony there for Mrs. Onofowokan. All right, if you have questions or comments as regards parenting, and we're moving on to talking with about children, taking care of children with special needs. Feel free, you can call us on 0805-897-0897, 0805-897-0897, and 0805-897-1897, 0805-897-1897. Hello, good morning. Ouch. Okay, we lost that call there. Okay, keep trying. I'm sure you get through to us. Okay, so you were about talking on children with developmental needs.
Developmental delays.
Delays, yeah. Delays.
Delays, if not properly treated or handled, could lead into a disability. For instance, there are red flags that you see before you have the autism diagnosis. Delayed speech, delayed walking, So, if the speech is not easily, at times kids just have delays in these areas. So if there's a delayed speech and there's no intervention, intervention means giving speech therapy or wondering why is your speech delayed. It could just mean you have fluid in your ears. If it's not treated, your eardrums could burst, and then deafness sets in. Those are things that we call developmental delays. If you are not crawling when you should crawl, it's a delay. We want to see what's preventing you and mitigate the effect before it becomes a bigger problem. It's the notion of a stitch in time saves 9.
Wow.
And the environmental risk factors too
Okay.
could be environmental things that you're exposed to. It could be lack of good feeding. It could also be lack of parenting skills. If you do not interact with your child, nobody interacts with your child. How on earth will the child learn social skills? If it's just put there, you feed him when he's hungry, you put him to bed and he sleeps, nobody talks to him, nobody does anything with him, how will he learn language? Because children are like parrots, they imitate. So there could be deficits in those areas.
Okay. You talked about speech